Alright, here we are again. Welcome to the Mo.re.Bricks channel. My name's Mo, and the CADA C61048W Fantasma 1/8 scale supercar is coming along nicely. Let me show you. Let's use this camera for a change. I haven't done that in a while. So here we are. And it is massive, as you can see. So this is what the entire construct looks right now. And yeah, basically it's all the under workings or inner workings of the car, as far as I can tell. I mean, there is structural bits to it, of course, as well, but the amount of gears in this thing is just insane. So functions off the charts, through the wazoo, whatever you want to call it, and it's just insane how much stuff is packed into this model so far. But as you can also see, we are ways away from actually being done with it. Lots of parts, lots of pins still here, lots of axles, some gear wheels here and there, more axles with stoppers, stuff like that. We have lift arms, a bunch of them, 2 trays left, and then of course all the white pieces to actually do the outside of the car. So this is where we are at, and I'm gonna do another hour of building today, and I want to jump right into it so I don't waste any more time talking about the model. And I hope you have fun with this series so far. It's been a rather slow one, just build wise, because I didn't have time all over January to do anything, but now I'm stepping up my game when it comes to finishing this thing. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let me just add you this other angle right here so you can see what I'm doing. And yeah, let's get right into it. Enjoy the time lapse. Here we go. All right, quick break at this point because quite a lot has happened since the last time I stopped and showed you what the progress was. So let's see from the top. 1 second. Here we are. So we have a seat in. It's oddly enough the passenger seat that we started with. So yeah, this is what we're looking at right now. Quite a lot of tan pieces are now in place. Let me show you from right here. So the seat is in, oops, right there. And we have quite a lot of actual Technic bricks underneath in the structure. So the first time that I actually got to use something like this, oops, sorry, there it is, We haven't worked with any of these in a while. I remember the old Lego Technic sets, like the first supercar I built, also had four-wheel steering, oddly enough. And I sold that a couple of years back after restoring it with some funny methods like putting the pieces into the sun for a couple of days to re-whiten them, because they were sitting in the attic for so many years that they had kind of changed color and were more yellowish. Yeah, so these were basically the initial Technic bricks that were used for any model before we had lift arms, before we had any frames to do the actual structures. Just because this was, basically the combination of studs and holes to accommodate axles and stuff like that. Basically the OG Lego Technic piece. And we have quite a lot of those underneath the seat for the structure. All right. And then the basically use for all this mechanism right here with the actuators is now becoming more clear. It's being controlled by this guy right here in the middle, and it is meant to open the doors, I think. Yeah, because I can now change between either just opening one of them or both at the same time, or, well, the other one. And again, like the way this is set up from the side, you can see more of the housing for the driver side or the passenger side cabin. So this is basically all very sturdy now. A lot of framing done here to reinforce the structure. But the sheer amount of stuff that went into this right here to make this stiff enough, and the way this is attached, this piece right here was pushed back, then I moved this over, pushed this down. So quite a lot of stuff going on there. And yeah, the way all of this works right here with these levers and gears and actuators, it's actually quite amazing to see how it comes together eventually. So I'm quite content with how this looks right now. And I'm sure we will basically now move ahead and do the other side. And yeah, let's see how that turns out. And I'm just hoping, because I can see I used different parts for this and for this. So one has a pin sticking out and the other one doesn't. I'm just hoping I didn't use the wrong part here. But yeah, I'll see when it comes to actually trying to use it. I might still be able to get this apart, but this looks different too. So it's not exactly the same from left and right side. So it's a bit different depending on what is attached on each side. So it might just be all right. So far everything panned out, I'm hoping. So far everything looks as it should. And yeah, I will build some more. I'm thinking we'll basically do this bit right now because it looks very similar from the starting point. So basically all the housing right here is still missing, and the seat on the driver's side is missing, assuming your left-hand driving side country. And yeah, so basically all of this is now being filled up, and I'll just build some more. Here we go. Okay, I'll just grab my mic for now and actually do a little bit of live building here with you, because I haven't done that in a while. And it's always kind of fun to narrate a little while stuff is happening in front of me. So what I'm assembling right here is the second seat. So I've already done the passenger side, oddly enough. That's what I started with, or that's what the instructions prompted me to do first. And now it's the driver's side seat. And I found at a couple of occasions while building this model that there is one very different thing about it compared to most Lego Technic stuff that I've built so far, or any basically Lego model. And that is symmetry, or better, the lack thereof. So when you look at the Fantasma from underneath right now, or if you look at different things at the model in general, you can see at many occasions that the model is not, as most other Lego sets, basically just left and right side mirrored, because most of the stuff that is kind of like structurally the same for left and right, then you have basically mirror sides of the outside of the car, stuff like that. And it's probably gonna be the same for many of the outside parts of the car when I get to that, but for right now, the inner structure and how stuff is put together, left compared to right side, that differs quite a lot actually. I mean, the seat itself is gonna be the same, but I could already see from assembling the kind of mechanism that holds the seat in place that this is different passenger side to driver side already, and you can already see why that is too. And it's basically the fact that one of the two sides houses the mechanism for the very complex structures or mechanisms that will enable the functions in the end. So that is very different compared to the Lego Technic stuff, because due to the lesser or the smaller amount of functions that that the Technic models have, you don't usually see a lot of stuff going from all the way in the front to all the way in the back and needing space for it. And the only thing that usually does is right in the center with the basically drivetrain, connecting front and back with like usually one gear wheel construction, or a longer axle going from the motor to the transmission, or the other way around, because it's actually the motor that's being driven instead of the motor actually driving something. So yeah, that is very different, and I can show you when I've actually found the part that I need. I can show you the underside of the car in a second when I've assembled the seat fully. So all these tan pieces, you might recognize those from the Chiron, for example, that also featured these tan pieces for the seats. So the Bugatti 410, I think 82, or was it 83? Can't remember the set number right now. Yeah, but that basically had the same kind of tan pieces for the seats. And I think with most of these luxurious hyper or supercars, you will have some kind of leather on the inside, and it's usually kind of a brownish color, I'm guessing. So that kind of makes sense. So it's not just a copy and paste situation from a different model, but actually based in a reality, I would think, that that color is chosen or used. And yeah, right now we have more of the classical bricks, like just a 1x6 studded tile right here. And as I said before, the OG technical parts right here. So that's very interesting to see that they are actually still being used in some situations or on some occasions. Not a lot, I gotta say, but at least some. All right. So the seats, exactly the same left and right, no real difference there. And the structure is similar to what you might have seen before on, as I said, any of the other builds in that kind of super or hypercar realm. These are usually very, very similar. Nothing too fancy, but there is other stuff that is in this model's case, so nothing to worry about. It's kind of difficult to see all the bits and pieces in here at times, so I have to reach. So sorry if I block your view of me building right here for some time, because I gotta find the parts up there. It's getting to a point where I can actually see that I've done stuff. Like I've actually built quite a bit of the model at this point. Because for a while I was under the impression I made no progress whatsoever, and that was kind of not annoying, not frustrating, but it was weird because usually when I built models in the past, like seeing progress is usually happening really quickly. So this one was really much out of the ordinary for me, because it took basically until now, to be honest, to see any kind of progress. Is that a 7-axle? Yeah, that's the only disadvantage, by the way, of building with a PDF. I have it on my my iPad right here, that I can't really use any of the scale to see if I have the right piece. And I'm pretty used to them by now and know most of the axle lengths by heart and by just like sizing them up. But there are occasions when I'm like, okay, is this the right length? Is that a 7? Is it a 6? And if you have the different axles in different colors, then this can be a problem at times. But as I said, usually it works out. All right, so this goes here, and this goes all the way through here. All right. Yeah, so the seats are probably the least challenging bit of this model so far. Nothing really too problematic, I'd say. Oh, this way. Yep, here we go. Mirror image of the other one pretty much. And I'll show you where they attach in a second. And we have those fender bits, which are labeled again 21 and 22, so I get the right ones. And not fuck this up in any way, so these go here. That's a 21, that goes on the top. 22 goes on the bottom. There we go. And attachment here and there. Here we go. And now they go. Oops. Into here and into there. Here we go. So that's basically the side holding the driver in. And now we'll do the other way around with the 21 at the bottom and the 22 on top for the other side. So it just flipped around like so. 21 and 22. And do I need the other bit? No, I don't think so, because that's already attached here. Yep. That's another thing I found. Like usually with Lego, it's pretty clear that pins that you attach stuff to are also kind of on both sides if you do something twice or if you have a structure that repeats in the model. And with this one, I found that in many cases you do part of the attachment on one side but not on the other, and it's not due to the fact that you can't reach it anymore in the end. So this was also something that I had to get used to, because I thought I had forgotten stuff, because when you expect to attach like two pieces to hold two other things and they should match up in a certain location and then they just don't, and you have one on one side but not one on the other side, it weirds you out because you think, okay, did I miss something here? Did I forget something? But in the end, it, as I said, so far looks like I haven't forgotten anything and I haven't messed anything up. This might still change, not sure. If I, in the very end of building the model, finally get to the point where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm missing stuff that I shouldn't be missing probably, but we'll see, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and hopefully not get to the point where, as I mentioned before, the guy who sold me this model, he was basically done with it, and then found that some of the stuff just didn't work because he botched one of the mechanisms underneath in the inner workings of the car, and he couldn't get to them anymore. So that was a bummer, and he did not have the nerve to take everything apart and reassemble it to make it work, so he stopped. It happens. I luckily never experienced something like this before with any other model. I had occasions where I had to go back a little, like deconstruct a certain section of a set, but not in a scale that I would say was hindering me of building or finishing the model entirely. So that did not happen to me yet. And fingers crossed, knock on wood, I hopefully won't in this case either. So, dear sorting tray. Nope. Yeah, with some bigger parts, if you put them together in one of these little compartments, I mean, I can take out middle sections, these little yellow walls, so they are modular, and right now I don't have many of these left, so I could just take this out, but in the beginning, when you just need a lot of space to build the whole thing, then it's really difficult to accommodate for everything and find the stuff in these kind of multi-purpose areas where you have more than one individual part. Okay, headrest is done. Here we go. And then we have a black pin that goes here. And now I have to get the car and attach it. Wait a second. All right. Before I do that, let me show you what I mean by the car is not like copy and paste, left side, right side, identical. Just, I mean, you can see it. For whatever reason, this is already here. Like one of the white pieces, or a couple of the white pieces are already attached. Nothing on the other side yet. So I'm guessing I need to attach other stuff first before I can do the white stuff here. Then you can see, let me just get rid of this right here. Then you can see this bit right here. So there is a connection right there. It attaches this beam right here. The beam is here as well, but the attachment is nowhere to be found. I mean, this bit and this bit are the same, so that's identical. And you can see mechanism right here, no mechanism on this side. So this is probably due to the fact that there are some linkages going through here. You can see this right here. This also is some kind of steering mechanism and connects back to front. So you have stuff that's just on one side but not on the other. Same if you turn the car around now. I'm hoping the audio is fine for you guys right now with the mic. So this plate right here that I just built was a second one, totally different to this bit right here. Because I have the connection, the axle, as you can see, going all the way back to this little bit right here. And all these axles have to go somewhere, and they go through basically the space that is left, because this panel right here is just 3 studs wide compared to the 5 studs wide right here. So this is different to this side. I mean, you can see there's some symmetry for the mechanism that's probably going to open the doors. But again, left and right side, the results vary, and it's not difficult per se, but it is new to me in some way that this happens, and it's interesting to say the least. All right, let me attach the seat for you right here, and then I'll wrap it up for today. So this goes, oops, this goes here. That wasn't it. I broke something. Okay. So this does not want to play ball right now. The attachment here is finicky. Turn it on its side. Whoops. Yeah, broke something. attachments one part to the next, they can be tricky. And as you can see, this is one of those occasions where stuff just does not want to behave as you want it to behave. Here we go. That looks better, I think. Yep. All right. And I'm not entirely certain, but I think the mechanism here kind of lets you tilt the seats in certain directions. I mean, I can't really reach it, to be honest. It's probably more a gimmick than anything else, like this seat adjustment. I mean, you can do this, and it stays in that position. And let me just turn this around to the other side again so you can see the mechanism that does that. So basically, if you look at this right here, there is a structure that can move back and forth, which is the seat moving back and forth. And if I use the lever that is on the side of the seat, I can push this basically back and forth a little. I mean, it's not as much as I would say is actually really doing something. And this moving bit right here, not sure if that's the way it's supposed to be, but I'll check it out. There is hopefully probably some kind of model description that shows off all the functions in the end, because right now this is just kind of, as you can see right here, the lever does this, but not much else, not much more. That's basically it right now, and maybe it's supposed to be that way, I'm not sure, but doesn't matter. We've gotten quite far, which is nice, and that's gonna be it for this part of the build. We are at building step D177, so quite far along in the D section, I'd say. And but if I close this particular manual, let me just check, because my battery is running low too. So this is manual part 4 out of 7. So there are 7 PDF files I'm working with, and I'm at PDF files 4 out of 7 right now. And then there is 5. 5 is starting with F22. Part 6 is starting with G6. I'm seeing a lot of white there. And 7 is then H57, a lot of white pieces there as well. So 6 and 7 is probably all the exterior, and I'm on 4. Number 5 is probably still interior. So let's see where this goes. Thanks as always for tuning in. If you like what I'm doing here, make sure to like and subscribe and enable the bell so you don't miss any of the other videos on the channel coming up. And yeah, until the next time, take care guys, bye.